From one controversy to another, from being sent on a voyage of experience to Agodi prison over a case of murder that he knew nothing about, to getting arrested over his call for justice on the murder of a student of Obafemi Awolowo University, Timothy Adegoke, having been known for his humanitarian service through his popular program Kokoro Alate. The last time Southwest Nigeria witnessed a radio program massively popular throughout the region was during the days of the great legends Kola Olawuyi and Gbenga Adefoye, both of blessed memory. Unlike Kola Olawuyi, famous for bizarre, scary real-life story, Gbenga Adefoye was a feel-good presenter and extraordinary comedian, better known for his comedy albums. But times have changed. Oriyomi Hamzat seems to have cracked the code and replicated the Iririayi magic through the clever use of social media. Living from one struggle, Oriyomi Hamzat almost trekked from Ibadan to Iruwa before getting a free ride. That's quite a far journey. How did a man who never even dreamt of becoming a broadcaster, despite being born by an ace presenter, become a broadcasting magnate that has millions of listeners and followers? This is the controversial story of Oriyomi Hamzat. Oriyomi Abrahman Hamzat, better known as Oriyomi Hamzat, was born on March 5, 1980. He was born and raised in the city of Ibadan, Oyo State. He came from a broadcasting family of a veteran radio presenter, Alhaji Kunle Hamzat, but was never interested in it. He always wanted to be a medical doctor. That he was a pioneer student of Paid School of Science in Ibadan. The problem was, he had a bad handwriting and got admission very late. In fact, WAEC withheld his result for 6 times. So during that time of expecting admission, he learned fishery and also worked as a field attendant in the evenings. His first admission was to study linguistics at the University of Ibadan in 1997, but he went to study geology at the Polytechnic Ibadan instead. After completing his national diploma, he was convinced by his father's colleague to go into broadcasting and take up his father's legacy. So he went for another national diploma in mass communication at the Iruwa campus of the Polytechnic Ibadan. After then, he proceeded to University of Ibadan for a degree in linguistics with Yoruba option. While at the Polytechnic Ibadan during his CWES, he came to the Polytechnic to learn program presentation from Lero Ishitu and started featuring on one of his programs. He also learned jingles from Damola Adeniyi. He was appointed a freelance broadcaster at BCOS, and from there he joined Amoludu FM, then to Petals FM, then to Fresh FM, and then to 32 FM Ibadan. A long time ago, Alhaji Kunle Hamzat, Oriyomi's father, worked at NTA. When he went to Hajj before 1999, he bought some equipment and expressed interest in disengaging from NTA and being on his own, but unfortunately, he couldn't. Since Oriyomi Hamzat started broadcasting, he has always been interested in reviving his father's dream, but he saw it as a huge project. In fact, the popular Radio Islam was originally planned to have a radio station, that he went to Abuja and was informed that a religious body can't be issued a license. Oriyomi Hamzat now decided that he will have a radio station of his own. He first established an online radio because he didn't have the capacity to set a terrestrial one at the time. Remember I mentioned that he once worked with Yinka Ayefele on Fresh FM briefly. When he was there, he was also a presenter at Petals FM. So Yinka Ayefele told him he doesn't want him to work like that he should rather stick with one radio station or work on establishing his. Brilliant! He told Oriyomi Hamzat to go and think about his own project. From there, he started his online radio. He had issues with some people and DSS officials invaded his studio. They carted away all his equipment, which are yet to be returned till date. When he returned, he had to buy new equipment, though those ones also got burnt not long after. Meanwhile, he was already preparing for his terrestrial station, so when his online station got burnt, he decided not to go back online because he felt there were too many online radio stations and it has no value anymore. Today, Oriyomi Hamzat now established Agidigbo FM and has extended to other parts of the country like Lagos just of recent. Wait, this is not a Nollywood movie, so brace yourself up because the story just got to be tough. Before we continue, the Thumbs Up Show is a youth development program that empowers the youth, get them inspired, stimulates creativity and lucrativeness. Kindly help this project by liking this video and subscribing to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Now let's move on to the next chapter. In 2017, Oriyomi Hamzat was incarcerated for the alleged murder of a 17-year-old boy in Ibadan. and remanded in Agodi prison, an issue that set his career growth extremely backward. The government of the state at the time felt he was speaking too much or too loud in raising the concerns of the people, so they were really looking for a way to shut him up. Incidentally, he had an orphanage home where he takes care of street kids. It is named Make the Future Alive Foundation, also known as Ark of Hope Foundation. One midnight around 2 a.m., one of the kids at the orphanage home fell sick. Then, the resident staffers of the orphanage called him into one of the cars and drove him to the hospital. On the way, he breathed his last. There was a checkpoint ahead, and they were stopped by men of the Nigerian police force. They did stop to explain to the officers that they had a sick boy in the car and they were rushing to the hospital because they had no idea that the boy had already passed away at the time. The policemen checked, saw that the boy was lifeless and then arrested them. But contrary to the rumor, Oriyomi Hamzat wasn't even there. He walked into the police station the following morning himself. And when they realized that it was him, Oriyomi Hamzat, the case then got big. The people in government got to know about it and they found a perfect scenario to shut him up. They arraigned him along with other boys and one of the resident caregivers at the orphanage, who happened to be a female. He was remanded in prison. The case dragged on for 6 years until they were all acquitted. After he got out of prison, I was interviewed by the Punch newspaper. He said it was an experience that was torturous, but that he cherished so much. In fact, after regaining his freedom and getting acquitted of all charges in the case, he jokes about it with his boys. He said he is not sure that he would have felt fulfilled if he didn't have that experience, and that it was necessary for him to experience that stormy and chaotic part of life. During his time in prison, someone told Oriyomi Hamzat that he was fighting power and influence, that he was armed with the truth, but the only way to amplify his truth and establish his innocence was being probed by someone who had access to power and influence. He told the person that he didn't know anyone. Somehow, a man named Seyi Makinde, who later became governor of Oyo State, got to know about the case. He sent his lawyer to see Oriyomi Hamzat. They both spoke on the phone. The lawyer asked Oriyomi to tell him the truth. Oriyomi Hamzat told him that all he had said were all true. The lawyer said he believed in Oriyomi and they would fight it together. Seyi Makinde played a significant role in establishing innocence, getting him bailed out from judicial custody and fighting the case to the finish. And today, they both have a good relationship. Getting back to being prominent wasn't so much of a tough choice. Oriyomi just thought of the same thing he's doing. If he can rile up the people in power so much as to institute an exaggerated case against him, then there is some value in it. He couldn't back down. That would mean that he chickened out. But he believed that truth will always prevail as long as he's on the side of the truth. Despite all odds against Oriyomi Hamzat, from prison to different allegations and arrests, even after his establishing his radio station, he made his father proud in the grave and he remains hungry. Whatever we think that he represents right now is what his father has always upheld throughout his lifetime. So, carrying on his legacy will have been his father's last wish. Now, the founder of Agidigbo FM, Alhaji Dr. Oriyomi Hamzat, has been honored with International Humanitarian Service Award for his outstanding contribution to humanity through his humanitarian efforts. He has also bagged so many awards in the media industry.